Ben? Earth to Ben? You've been clicking that pen for exactly 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Are you trying to communicate in Morse code, or has your brain officially reached its data limit for the day?
Oh, sorry, Jenny. I was just stuck deep in the void. Do you ever have those moments where you're doing something, like driving or scrolling or even talking, and you suddenly realize you've been on autopilot for the last hour? I woke up this morning and it felt like I was watching a movie of my own life instead of living it. I reached for my phone, checked the same 3 apps in the same order, felt the same weird to-do list anxiety, and realized I've done this exact sequence for years. It's like a loop I can't break.
Welcome to the Matrix, my friend. But instead of robots, you're being controlled by something much more subtle. We call them invisible scripts. What you're describing isn't just a bad habit, it's a deep-seated mental operating system that's running in the background of your life without your permission. It's the reason why we repeat the same mistakes, stay in the same boring routines, and feel like we're stuck even when we have the power to move.
Invisible scripts? That sounds like something out of a psychological thriller. Are you telling me my brain has a director I've never met? That someone else wrote the lines I'm saying right now?
In a way, yes. Think about it like this. From the second you were born, the world started writing a manual for you. Your family, your school, the neighborhood, the culture, everyone was holding a pen, writing rules into your brain. Rules like, money is the root of all evil, or don't stand out, just fit in, or success means a stable office job, or my personal favorite, what will the neighbors think? These aren't just passing thoughts, they become the scripts that dictate every single decision you make, from the clothes you wear to the risks you're afraid to take.
What will the neighbors think? Jenny, I think that sentence is literally carved into the back of my skull. It's crazy when you think about it. I didn't buy that vintage motorcycle last year, the one I really wanted, not because I couldn't afford it, but because I had this script running in my head saying it was too loud and unprofessional for someone like me. I made a major life choice based on a script I didn't even write. I was worried about the opinions of people I don't even talk to.
That is exactly why they are called invisible. They're so deeply embedded in your subconscious that you mistake them for your own personality. You think, I'm just a cautious, practical person, when the truth is, you're just a person following a cautious, practical script written by a nervous environment 20 years ago. We repeat the same day because our internal software is outdated. We're using a 1995 operating system to try and live a 2026 life.
This is actually a bit scary, Jen. If I'm not the one writing the script, then am I even the protagonist of my own story? Or am I just a background extra in a play written by society? And more importantly, how many dreams have I quietly buried because of a script that isn't even mine? How do I know which thoughts are me and which thoughts are the script?
That is the investigation we are starting today, Detective Ben. Most people live their entire lives without ever questioning the manual. They choose careers they hate, stay in friendships that drain them, and follow safe paths because they were told that's what good people do. But the second you become aware of the script, it starts to lose its power. You can't unsee it. Once you realize the walls of your life are just paper-thin scripts, you can start to walk right through them.
Okay, I'm ready to burn the old manual. I want to rewrite this thing. I'm tired of being a puppet. But where do we even start? These things are invisible for a reason. How do we spot a ghost?
It starts with a mental audit, Ben. A deep, honest look at the areas where you feel the most friction. We have to dig into the layers and ask, is this my voice or is it an echo of someone else's fear? Are you ready to go down the rabbit hole?
Okay, I'm ready for the audit. I've spent the last few minutes thinking about it, and I've already realized that my money script is definitely corrupted. Every time I think about investing in a new idea or buying something for myself, this loud voice in my head starts preaching. Save it for a rainy day. Don't be greedy. Money's dangerous. It's like I have a tiny, stressed out accountant living in my brain who hasn't had a vacation since 1985.
That's a classic scarcity script, Ben. It's often passed down through generations like a heavy family heirloom. But scripts aren't just about money, they're about social value, intelligence, and even learning. For example, let's look at our listeners who are learning English. Almost all of them are fighting a very specific, very toxic, invisible script that says if I make a mistake in public, I will look stupid and people will judge me.
Oh, I see that one every single day. I see brilliant people, engineers, artists, students, who know the grammar, they know the vocabulary, but when it's time to speak, they freeze. They stay silent because their perfectionist script is screaming at them. It's like their brain is telling them that a wrong verb tense is a life or death situation.
Exactly. They're literally being held hostage by a sentence someone said to them in a classroom 15 years ago. Maybe a teacher laughed or a classmate made a face. That one tiny moment created a script that says silence is safer than imperfection. They think they are bad at English, but the truth is, they are just good at following a bad script. It's a ghost in the machine that stops them from ever reaching fluency.
So, how do we actually catch these ghosts in the act? How do I know if a thought is mine or if it's just a rerun of an old script? Because they feel so real, Jen. They feel like the truth.
You have to look for the language of pressure. Listen for the shoulds. Every time you say, I should want this job, I shouldn't feel this way, or I should be married by now, you're almost certainly reading from a script. Should is the language of external expectations. Your true self speaks in the language of I want, I choose, or I am. Society tells you what you should do. Your soul tells you what you choose to do.
Should versus choose. That's a massive distinction. When I say I should go to this networking event, I feel a weight on my chest. It feels like a chore. But when I say I choose to work on my project, I feel a spark of energy. It's like the difference between a prison and a playground.
That feeling of weight or friction is your internal compass. It's your brain's way of telling you that you're living a life that wasn't designed for you. You have everything you're supposed to have, the stable career, the routine, the respect of others, but you wake up feeling empty. That's because you're a professional at living their script, but a total amateur at living yours. You're winning a game you never actually wanted to play.
That hits hard, Jenny. Winning a game I never wanted to play. I think that's the definition of a midlife crisis. So the audit is about finding the friction. Everywhere I feel bored, resentful, or anxious, there's a script hiding in the shadows, isn't there?
Always. But spotting it is only the first step. The real challenge, and the part that scares people, is hitting the delete button. Because once you delete the old script, you're left with a blank page. And a blank page is the most terrifying thing in the world to someone who has always been told what to do.
Okay, Jenny, the audit is done. I've found the ghosts, I've identified the shoulds, and I've seen the friction. Now, give it to me straight. How do I hit delete? I tried to use positive affirmations this morning. I looked in the mirror and said, I am a bold, fearless leader. But my brain just looked back at me like, nice try, Ben, now go back to being anxious. It felt like I was lying to myself.
Because you were lying to yourself. You can't just delete a 20-year-old script with a few minutes of happy talk. Your brain is too smart for that. It's like trying to uninstall a complex computer program by just screaming at the monitor. The brain doesn't believe what you say. It only believes what you do. We call the solution evidence-based rewriting.
Evidence-based? So I have to become a lawyer and prove to my brain that the old script is wrong? I have to provide Exhibit A and Exhibit B?
Exactly. If your script says, I can't speak English in front of strangers, you don't fight it by shouting, I am a public speaker while sitting in your room. That's useless. You fight it by going to a coffee shop, walking up to the counter, and ordering your drink in English. It's a small act, a tiny victory, but to your brain, that's evidence. It's one line of new code. Then you do it again and again. Eventually, the mountain of new evidence becomes higher than the old script, and the old script just fades away.
It's like building a brand new paved highway right next to an old bumpy dirt road. At first, the dirt road is familiar, but once the highway is built, you just naturally start taking it because it's faster and smoother. You don't have to fight the dirt road, you just stop using it until the grass grows over it.
That is the perfect analogy, Ben. And you have to be the gatekeeper of your internal dialogue. You have to start interrupting the script in real time. When you're about to take a risk and you hear that old voice say, "Don't do it, people will think you're weird," you don't ignore it. You stop and say, "I hear you, safety script. I know you're trying to protect me from the neighbor's opinions from 10 years ago, but I'm choosing the growth script today. Thanks for the input, but I've got this."
I hear you, but I'm choosing something else. I like that. It's not about hating your past or your family for giving you those scripts. It's about acknowledging that they were trying to keep you safe, but safe isn't where success lives. It's about taking the pen back.
And for every single person listening, especially those of you trying to master a new language or a new skill, your new script needs to be, "My mistakes are my tuition." Every time you mess up, you're not failing, you're paying the price for mastery. You were literally rewriting your neural pathways to be more resilient, more creative, and more you. You are moving from a fixed script to a living script.
This has been a massive software update for me, Jenny. I'm going home tonight and I'm going to sit down with a real pen and a real piece of paper. I'm going to write out my new manual. No more living on autopilot. No more letting ghosts from my childhood drive the car. I'm taking the wheel.
It's a lifelong process, Ben. You'll find old scripts hiding in the corners of your mind for years to come. But once you have the investigative tools, you're no longer a victim of your programming. You're the lead developer. You're the writer. You're the one in control.
The writer of my own life. That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? Take control of the pen, everyone. Stop playing a part in a story you didn't write. Audit your friction, build your evidence, and start living the script you actually want to read.
Well said, Ben. And remember, guys, don't just listen to this podcast and go back to your old routine. Do one thing today, just one tiny thing that proves your old script wrong. We want to hear about it.
Stay awake, stay sharp, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye, everyone. Take care of your scripts.